I might start
turn it
menstruating.
down slowly. Like, you know, I just had to finish this tweet because I'm trying to tweet out the number so people will call in. Call in, you pussies.
Sirius XM.
Rich is not here tonight because where is he?
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City, thank you.
That's close enough. He could have made it. Is he going to call in
No,
like you
because he
did?
has to work tonight.
Yeah, but he can call in.
Like,
have a 7
I don't
o'clock
know,
show,
I
right?
hope so.
I mean, you
I
called
think
in,
we all...
McFarlane.
I do, you know, I care about stuff.
Yeah, last time you were on, you called in.
And were you on the last time?
I was on, yeah. We chatted.
The one I gave money to a homeless person?
Yes, got scammed by a homeless person. A weeping homeless person. As soon as you handed her money, she ran off.
She didn't run off. She just was like done with me.
Yeah.
That's
how it
the
works.
tears miraculously evaporated from her face.
If you gave me $20 right now, you wouldn't see me for the rest of the show.
Is that it? These headphones are too big for my head.
Update on Bonnie. She's in Rich's seat tonight. She's having
Yeah.
microphone trouble.
It's
and
like I'm a little girl playing dress up.
Yeah.
These headphones are too big. Oh.
mic trouble, headphone trouble.
So we're here with Ben Haig. Did I say that already?
No.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Our third wheel
Always.
is now taking the second chair.
Third mic, usually we call it in the business, but third wheel,
whatever.
according to Rich and Bonnie.
Mm-hmm. And then we have other guests coming in tonight, too. So Sam Morrill,
Yep.
or Morrill, or Morrell. I don't know how you say his last name.
Morrill.
Is it?
I think so, yeah.
Well, we'll ask him.
He's funny.
We'll ask him that. And then Michael Moynihan from the Daily Beast is coming in to shed light on trigger warnings. No, I don't know what he's going to talk about. We don't prepare people, and we don't prepare ourselves.
Yeah, we don't prepare anything.
But I will say I went to Anya Marina last night at the City Winery. Have you ever been to that place?
In the city, I'm assuming?
It's in the city. It's like right near the Holland Tunnel. But it's a beautiful venue, and there was like so many people there, and she was opening for this guy, Josh Radin. And it was like real night, like a real thing. Like we had dinner and drinks and...
Oh, with her before?
Well, she did come say hi, but I was with my friend Lindsay, who it was her birthday. It wasn't her birthday exactly, but we were celebrating her birthday.
Was it birthday week? Girls do birthday week for some
no, we
reason.
didn't have time to do her actual birthday, so we went. Anyway, it was amazing to just go out and be like I didn't have to go do a show somewhere or...
I know, it's nice,
weird
right?
to
it's nice
like
to have a night off.
I at one point listening to the music, I started crying a little bit.
Look at you.
I just was like, I had so much emotion.
It is. It's It's emotional music, I can tell.
It was very
It's
emotional.
vibey.
Also, I'm not used to sitting for that long. Ben, what's going on with you? Rich normally does...
Rich is the plug master.
He would plug everything right now. I have shows coming up for the New York Comedy Festival week, which I should plug before I forget. So I'm a week at the Creek, which is actually not a real week. It's at the Creek and the Cave in Long Island City, and I'm going to be doing an hour every night starting Wednesday, November 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. I guess if the 15th is Saturday, I don't know.
I have no idea.
How many days I just
did.
did.
It is.
So I'm doing that, and then I'm doing a show on Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. People like to do shows when it's sunny out.
Really?
And I'm doing, I'm opening for a chef. She's doing a show called...
City Winery is opening for chefs.
She's doing a show called Bust My Chops.
So she cooks and you just sit there and heckle her?
No, I mean, I'm going to go on before her and do a little time.
There you go.
And then she's going to... But I wanted to do it. You should just always be friends with chefs when given the opportunity.
100%.
They have restaurants, everyone likes to eat. And I
agree.
You know, I've had a few chef friends in my day, and we've had incredible meals.
And as comics, we often eat off shitty food menus.
Yes.
You're
right?
allowed an appetizer. 20%.
Well, I'm on a different category than you are. They let me order anything off the menu that I want. I don't have to worry about it. Sometimes even if they'll be like, with comedians, I'll say, I'll pay whatever extra. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's
the kind of rates you demand. Not
I'm like, you know
cash
what?
Flying around.
Put it on my bill, and I will leave at the end of the week without paying that bill.
I just take them. Take it out of my paycheck this week.
You seem low energy tonight. Usually you're...
Yeah, I haven't had a full meal in 72 hours. I went on Groove Cruise. I went out in L.A. for some business, and then I went on Groove Cruise.
What's that?
72 hours of dancing on a boat with no food and no sleep. It's pretty intense.
Why do you do it?
Just sometimes, Bonnie,
it's a booze cruise? What's it called again?
Our producer's laughing at it. It's a booze cruise, but you don't stay up for 72 straight hours just on booze, Bonnie. A wink. No, we, We went to Mexico, and then
Is it Molly?
No,
I just said
Molly.
one thing I know.
No, it was just a bunch of friends. We went when it went left.
Are you snorting caffeine?
No, but
I'm
drinking caffeine now, which is the first caffeine I've had in a while.
Okay, what were you doing in L.A.?
I had some meetings for the film I did. We're trying to see if we can get it on something.
How's it going with the meetings?
Good. We did.
You love LA, don't you?
I like the weather. Yeah, I'm wearing an LA T-shirt right now. I don't know why.
Oh my god, I'm wearing an LA T-shirt right now.
I like the weather. I love New York City. I don't want to leave New York City, but it starts to get cold, man. I'm not a girl. Like girls love scarves and their hunter boots.
Oh my god.
And foliage.
I've got a pair of hunter boots. I have the socks.
See, look at you girls. Look at she's got your friend over here has her lovely scarf.
Who's her friend? She's from Montreal.
Montreal. Girls love fall. Guys are like whatever. I don't know. I don't like the cold weather. She is like
my assistant. I don't even have to ask. It just happens.
She's got the assistant down pat because I've met several assistants of people that are doing way better than me, and they often sit like she is on the couch. Glued to their phone, never making eye contact.
She's looking up information about our guests,
or
so I have
paying attention to what's
ask.
actually going on.
She's cool. Oh, we have a call.
What we got?
Oh, here we go. This is.
By the way, 866-969-1969.
I'll do the numbers.
You're not good at numbers.
I'll do the numbers. Eric.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, quick question. Real scenario. I have my sister-in-law and her husband have been married for quite some time, and he just recently had a stroke, and she was going through the documents and everything else to figure out what bills to pay and everything else.
Wait, did he die, or he didn't
die?
Okay,
he didn't die. He's in a bad state right now.
Mm-hmm. Strokes are bad.
Strokes
not good.
She found some divorce documents, and after going through even further. He actually contacted a lawyer, and the divorce documents are pretty rude, really. I mean, they just, get out of the house and this and that, whatever. But now she's feeling a guilt trip. She's feeling like she has to stay, and I'm like, I would have laughed. But,
okay, so she didn't know that he wanted a divorce?
He hinted around. This has been going on for a couple of years, and he's kind of hinted around and everything else,
but then the little bitch started snooping.
Yeah, but she, bills needed to be paid. She needs to know what needed to be paid. So she's going around.
Right.
And then she's like, they have a mortgage and everything else that they have to pay, and whatever else, and she's getting late payments, and then she finds out all this other information about, and then what the hell is he doing after hours? He travels a lot, but it sounded like he was about to divorce her, and then he was going to leave his job and start.
Okay.
And then he had a stroke, and she's not sure if she should stay or leave, right?
He has a stroke.
Goddamn headphones.
Bonnie, what would you do? What would you do if Rich he talks like he had a stroke, but what if he actually...
I mean, you mean if I found divorce papers? Because that's different. Rich would never, he threatens divorce a lot, but...
Where's he going to go?
He's not going to, yeah.
You have so many more options. You got the glasses on, the hair looks nice tonight.
I sometimes think if Rich had an accident where he, had a stroke or something, it would be fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Because then I could just sort of remold him into the person that I actually want.
I mean, he would sound the same,
especially if there was some memory loss and stuff.
I think there's still time,
Yes, there is memory loss. There is some amnesia going on there, and he's actually clinging on to her, like a lost puppy. And to add to everything else, his side of the family absolutely can't stand her.
Oh boy, this is a...
And now this... Yeah,
the tangled something web. Yeah, I don't know the saying.
But now the
Shakespeare
sister is just a type A personality bitch, and it just gets nasty from there. But she feels obligated.
So she thinks she should stay.
She thinks she should stay.
I'm no Emily Post, but I think after your husband has a stroke, if you find divorce papers.
You got off lucky, man. Take that ticket.
No, you're saying take the ticket. I say you have to wait 6 months. That's what I say. That's kind of like modern manners dictate you wait.
He was going to divorce her anyway.
Yeah, but this is the problem that I have with this situation.
Didn't have the stroke. He would have taken off.
I didn't invite you here to argue with me, Ben.
This is how it works, McFarlane.
Sam Morrill. Is it Morrill?
It's Morrill, but
I fucking just told you that.
I know, but I had an argument with Anya today about your name.
Okay. What did she say?
We talk about you every day.
Really?
It's so crazy.
I'm flattered.
So,
I think that was sarcasm. I'm going to take it as flattery.
So, I was like, why are you bringing him up? No. No, this is the thing I have with the situation. That, yes, he turned into a dick and then he wanted to get a divorce. But they were probably both being, like, bad people on both sides a little bit.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
She's kind of...
But he's now has memory loss and stuff. He's probably gone back now to the great guy that he was when she first met him. She should stick it out a little bit to see, like, maybe...
It's like an Etch-a-Sketch or something. You just shake it back to the beginning.
Yes.
It's kind of
He's,
nice.
like, forgotten the dickish thing she's done.
Hit the old reset button.
He's hit reset.
There's a kid involved. There is a kid involved, and he has zero attention for this kid, and the kid...
Well, now he's got a stroke. Was he what he wanted him to do?
I think this is my dad, actually.
I'm looking at him with my good eye.
So far, this all adds up to my dad.
Oh, so Sam, what do you think?
I think that she should leave. That's what I think.
Oh, Sam's got some daddy issues.
How old's the kid?
What do you think? You think she should leave, right?
I do, just because of... I read the divorce papers, and there was 3 amended divorce papers, and it got worse and worse and worse. And he was, like you say, a total dick. So.
But you said she's a bitch too. Maybe they are. No.
Does she have life insurance? Because there's like, it just seems like at this point it's a pretty easy pillow situation.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. All right, Eric. Thanks for calling. I hope we helped.
All right. Thanks. All right.
I don't know.
We didn't help at all. We didn't give one answer.
I don't know. Let's take another call, and then we'll get to Sam Morrill. James from Utah.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
I am going as Bill Cosby in blackface for Halloween.
Yeah.
That never ends well.
Blackface is the least offensive part of that.
Okay.
Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
On top of it, I've got one of those Afro rainbow wigs.
Yeah.
And I'm holding a sign that says, "I was just clowning around."
Yeah, I don't think any, look, I think a costume's a costume, but blackface holds a lot of baggage. I wouldn't risk it.
It's got to be a home run if you're doing blackface.
Yeah.
It's got to be like what Ted Danson did at the Whoopi Goldberg roast. That was pretty funny,
And he got in a lot of trouble. He's never worked again. He's actually never worked more after that. So
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I could use the
show
jump.
after hit show.
Yeah, it's like...
And he's not just hit show. He's on good shows.
Yes.
Damages, Fargo. I want to be on these shows.
He actually knows exactly what good taste is.
Maybe.
He's got such an eye.
If you go to Real Salty Dicks, that's at Twitter.
Real Salty Dicks?
That photo, and at least give me your opinion of my photo.
I'm not going to go to it or whatever, but...
If it's inappropriate or not.
I want you to wear it around town. It says you're from Utah, and then let us know next week how it turned out.
It actually really fucking kills here in Utah.
Oh, well, there you go.
That says a lot about you. All right, thanks, James. You know what? Go for it.
Why not?
I mean, at this point, you're going to get in trouble for literally anything. No good Halloween costume, except, and I've said this before and I'll say it one more time, people, if you don't know what to go for Halloween, I suggest the Legend. You need a little hat, right?
A shirt with cut-off sleeves. It's a very easy uniform.
You could do this cut-off sleeve shirt, or you could do, but he also has been doing that sort of like I've been bowling in Panama shirt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
the Charlie Sheen 2.5 Men type shirt.
Yes, so you could do that.
What does he mean it's been killing? And is he just telling the idea around, and that's what he means?
He's been wearing it for weeks, I'm assuming.
No, I think he's like, well, I've had this costume for the last 40 years.
He's been in blackface since
and
the
for
80s.
Halloween.
The Rich Voss starter pack.
What are you going to be for Halloween?
Shit, I was a vampire last week, which is lame. I don't know.
Why last week? Yet. Just for fun?
On the cruise, it was a Halloween night. Yeah.
Oh God, this cruise sounds horrendous.
It's not your type of cruise, trust me.
No, first of all, there's people.
Lots of them.
There's a group of people right there. I don't like it.
Dancing and sweating on each other. Not your thing, McFarlane?
There's celebration going on. No,
not your idea of a getaway.
No. What, Sam?
A comic that's disappointed who they let in that night, I guess.
A disappointing son.
Yeah. You know who they're going to let into the shows. It's going to be rough. I'm at Stand Up New York, and I'm like, ooh, I'm not looking forward to what characters come in that night.
Why?
I've worked on Halloween and just looking out in the crowd and people are in their fucking costumes.
But why would you
put a
costume on and go to a comedy show?
It happened. The one fun thing is you do get some fun riffs out of it. That's the one cool thing about the costumes in the crowd.
I saw a giant bar fight at a Halloween party once, and I was literally like up top looking down at the bar. It was like a 20-person brawl. It was the funniest thing ever, seeing clowns fighting unicorns, fighting
pretty
firemen. Great. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
I love it.
I was turned on. I had a boner. Fully.
It does sound like something that you saw on TV. Now you've...
I swear to God, I saw it. It was
somehow adopted that as your own
where
memory.
I grew up. Often happens a lot.
Guys, you're gonna have to pick. You guys are gonna have to do a lot more. What am I? I can't.
We'll wait for you, McFarlane.
I don't know what to do.
I like this guy.
About what?
Get Lady Trucker. She's always got something.
Lady Trucker.
People are always like tweeting me like, "Don't." Hi, Lady Trucker.
Don't what? Fuck. Finish that thought. Lady Trucker, hang on. What, fucker? Go. Finish that thought. Finish it, McFarlane.
She's a polarizing character.
Is this a recurring character?
Yes.
Okay.
But she really is a lady, and as far as I know.
She's great. She's a
really is a trucker.
On the Opie radio station.
That's correct, Bonnie. I do have a vagina.
Yeah.
And I'm a penis licker.
Okay, there you go.
That's a good combo so far.
I like a heterosexual woman that's like, I'll lick your penis. You know, it's like.
What about the balls, Lady Trucker? Do you pay attention to the balls?
Yes, I do.
That's my girl.
That'd be great if she only licked it, though, like a lollipop, like no sucking, just a little licking. Just keep licking it.
Why? How are you supposed to do it? What do you want to talk about, Lady Trucker?
Oh, I just wanted James in Utah to know that the only black people in Utah are truckers. So as long as he stays away from truck stops, he'd be fine in blackface.
Oh, so I like, though, that you're giving him some parameters. Go ahead and do the blackface.
Who's wearing the costumes to truck stops?
Yeah.
Big sad Halloween.
I always do my blackface and then go find a glory hole.
Just trolling for penis
why.
lickers. Trolling for penis lickers.
Yeah, just hanging out in your Greyhound bus terminal.
Well, thanks for calling.
All right, thanks.
I feel like when Rich is here, I feel like I got so much more energy because he's always yelling at me. Somehow it works, right?
This is what independence feels like, Bonnie.
I'm not good without him.
It's amazing how Rich eats in front of the microphone, messes up all the calls on the board, yet still somehow controls the show.
He controls
He does. He drives the ship still. I don't know how he does it.
Nibbling on air drives me nuts. I do a podcast with Phil Hanley, and he's always...
Oh, nice. Way to drop your fucking podcast.
My podcast, no. But Phil, he's always nibbling. He's nibbling the entire podcast, and people are like, can he stop nibbling? And you know, he's like, no, I won't.
What is the name of your podcast?
We Know Nothing. You've been on it.
I've been on it.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was called We Know Nothing.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Anya Marina.
Yeah, she's great.
And she's amazing. And I went out with her last night. I went and saw her perform last night.
You have a girl
She's
crush.
Great.
You have a girl crush on her.
We're friends. We've seen each other topless a couple of times. It's not a big deal.
Would you?
Of course I would. I would totally a lesbian from the waist up.
Really?
But not.
Got you.
I mean, a couple of times. I've done
college was a crazy time.
Yeah, below the waist.
Canadian college.
You know why? It's just too much. There's a lot of. For a girl, I would really have to present myself. For a guy, I don't give a shit. You know, it's like here. I haven't shaved in 3 weeks. Who cares?
We don't. I could care less if there's a huge bush either. Anyway.
I haven't seen a bush in forever.
Really?
I mean, I'm not thrilled, but I'm also kind of
right, but
it's still a vagina.
You're not getting top quality pussy
No,
anyway. You
I mean,
know that about yourself.
Lately, I have been only because I'm seeing one person, but for a long stretch, I was just.
You're seeing someone. You have a girlfriend.
Someone. I am, yes.
So how did you guys meet?
Typical Sam starts talking about Bush 5 minutes into the show. Typical Sam.
You know what? It's been
at
least 15 minutes.
Do you guys know each other outside of this?
No, I feel like we've met before, but we don't
really
know each other.
No, I don't know.
Oh, when you came in, you were like, "Hey, I thought you knew him,"
Well,
or you thought he was someone
We're
else.
fucking nice to each other.
Oh,
yeah, typical cunty.
I was like, "Oh my god, Ben knows someone. Ben knows someone from the real comedy world. This is crazy.
This is hilarious."
Yeah.
So Ben, you're single.
No, I have a girlfriend.
You have a girlfriend also.
I know.
How long? Did she go on the cruise with you?
Yeah. That's the girl I went to Peru with. We're jet setting.
Do you understand going on a cruise with your girlfriend?
I would never. Well, we're comics, though. You know, it's an awful idea.
But he's a comic.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Air quotes.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know.
Air quotes. Ben, say something funny.
I'm tired.
Come on.
Letting you guys carry the show. Sam's the guest. Take it away.
Sam's
Yeah.
like the lowest energy person on the planet.
But
wanna hear this Bush story,
low
though.
energy, soothing, however you want
Finish
to refer
this
to
Bush
it.
story.
I mean, you know, back to bushes. I'm totally fine with the bush. If you want to shave, I'm happy with that too. I'm not picky. It's, you know, you're getting a free meal. You don't complain about a free meal. That's what I say.
I've complained about free meals.
Have you?
Yes, because I'm an ass. I mean, that's one of the things I'm good at, complaining.
You're not
Never
Jewish.
being satisfied.
Are you Jewish?
That's her go-to.
You're not Jewish, are
Married a
you?
Jew. I'll tell you, it's wearing off on her.
It's like part of our culture. We're like Jews
I have a
are
Jew
like
in me.
Emphasis on the little.
Do we sound like an amateur show?
no.
Okay,
you're killing
Tony
it.
from Philly.
No.
What is there a kid calling in? We're talking about Bush.
No, it's not. No, it's my wife losing her mind trying to read with my son her homework. I got the.
Well, Tony, have him read in a different room. We're trying to run a goddamn radio show here.
Whoa,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I was.
I want to hear the kid.
Am I talking about you on the phone? No, sweetheart, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about your brother. Can you want to talk to Bonnie?
No.
What?
No.
How dare you?
Oh, you want?
How old is she?
This is the funny lady that Daddy watches on the TV. Yeah, he lets you watch the bad movie. Well, here, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. How old are you?
Yes.
You're 1? You're doing
How
great.
old are you?
4.
4.
4
Wow.
years old.
You were
What
a
book are
liar.
you reading?
That's so great for 4. She was phenomenal for a 1-year-old.
Don't listen to them. What book are you reading?
Baby, reading a book.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Oh. Aw, you're so cute. What's your name?
Bye.
What's
Bye.
Bye.
Coraline.
Coraline. Doesn't know her name yet, but she's cute.
I'm starting to realize
Guys,
Rich's value to the show.
If you have a kid that you want to put on the air in the middle of Bush talk, please call 866-969-1969.
Then they better bring some bush talk. 'Cause we really toned that segment down. I'm not happy about it, you know?
Tony, what do you want to say?
I don't know what that whole trucker thing was about. I don't get serious, but I was laughing my ass off at that. Your documentary rocks.
Thank you.
If Voss is there too?
No, he's not here tonight. Normally we do this show together, but he's in
It's in Atlantic City, paying the rent.
Atlantic City.
Ooh.
Sunday,
I'm owed
he had
some
to
money
start
from
on
there.
Sunday.
I'm owed a big check from Atlantic City. The Tropicana screwed me over the summer.
He's at the better club.
Um,
He's at the real club.
You know what, Bonnie? It was a wonderful week of drunkenly coming back to my condo and killing cockroaches. So
Ooh.
he liked that.
Tony-
Life on the road.
Tony liked it.
Tony, if you
That's funny as shit.
If you
I
have
mean,
it-
well, that's what extraordinary.
Tony, you have any thoughts or
I
opinions
know,
or
it's,
ideas?
should
Or what
we-
do you got? What do you got for us, Tony? Let's get to it here, pal.
Thank
What do
you.
you want to hear about my shit life and my crap job?
you have a
Well,
great life.
maybe
You
you
have
can
2
make it
kids.
sound. Yeah.
Oh, my kids are beautiful.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you
like, I
call
feel
and
like
have
we're
us talk
talking a
you off
guy
a
off the
ledge?
ledge
Yeah,
when he's
Jesus.
carrying. Don't kill yourself while you're
Floor do you live
caring
on,
for
Tony?
your
We're getting nervous.
children.
No.
Remind the body, so maybe outside the house. I'm a great person. Okay, Tony, thanks for calling.
You rock. Love your documentary.
Oh,
You're the
thanks,
funniest
man.
Woman alive.
Thank you.
You are.
Thank you.
He had to
This guy
throw
knows
in
his
woman,
shit.
though. He couldn't say funniest person.
You know,
He had
for a
to-
long time, I felt like I was competing with men to like be funny. I always was like, I got to be as funny as the guys. And then one day, I swear to God, I was laying in bed. This is like also a red flag. It's day, and I'm laying in bed, and I was like, you know what? I could just be one of the funniest women. Like,
Yeah.
why am I fucking working so hard at this shit? So I just gave up on
It's you
the
and,
other
it's
thing.
you and
There you go.
Tig. That's it.
I
you
just
know?
gave up on the other, and I just, you know, I still have both my breasts, but I feel like on
Yeah.
the same level.
That's your problem. I mean, you know.
Well, when I get uterine cancer, things are going to change for me.
That will change.
I also realized a little while ago that I was avoiding using LOL this whole time. I didn't.
Through text?
Yes, I wouldn't do it. And my neighbor will say LOL after everything she says. Ugh. I'm always like trying to figure out how she meant that to be funny. But I think then I just realized it's just a way to be like, we're done the conversation. Like, talk to you later.
I think people actually laugh. It's a way to say I'm laughing. I think people genuinely are laughing out loud sometimes, but I lose a little respect when a man texts it to me for sure. You know, like when it's like Big J Okerson texted me LOL once, and I was like, "What, you?"
You know what,
Last
Sam?
I just
the other day I hit LOL back to my neighbor. She said LOL. I didn't know how to respond. I went LOL, and it felt...
Did a piece of you die?
No, it felt good. I felt like the weight of the world went off my shoulders. It's like, you can just do this now. Yeah. And then I fucking LOL'd Lewis earlier today. I fucking started LOLing everybody.
Were you laughing, or were you trying to end the conversation?
No, that's just like somebody will say something dumb. I don't know how to fucking respond to it. I go LOL. Done.
It's an easy way out.
You're out.
I often use it at the end if I'm trying to get the conversation sexual with a lady. You throw that in sometimes.
Sometimes people just say ha, and that's kind of like, it's a little shitty, I think. You know, they can't even give you a ha-ha.
I do a ha-ha. Sometimes I do.
Long ha-ha-ha.
I like that.
That's what I was trying to be honest with the ha's. I would ha if I thought it was okay. Ha-ha, pretty good. Ha-ha-ha-ha-ha if I thought it was great.
My roommate will write back meh, which I think is so shitty.
That is not nice.
Meh and
we have a celebrity on the line. Go ahead.
Anybody that writes LOL to me, I just block them immediately.
You can't block somebody on your texts, Rich.
I guess you can. You can block people so they can't text you again.
Really?
Yeah, you can. It's true. It checks out. It checks out.
Not only do I block them, if they live close to me, I try to move out of the neighborhood. I try to get as far away from them.
Seems a little unnecessary.
Bit of a stretch.
That's a little over the top.
As a comedy bit, I think you're going too far.
Well, LOL on that one.
Richie Rich, you still got it. I miss you.
I miss you too. So you swung Sam. I got Ben. You got Sam. So this is going to turn out to be a good show.
Yeah, Michael Moynihan is coming in too.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Sound like Red Eye and stuff, right? I know that guy.
It's too hard. How am I going to explain it to Rich?
It's a long,
He's the guy that I was reading a book, and I remember I was like, I know this guy.
That's funny that you have him come in the night that I'm not there. What are the odds when I said bring him in when I'm there? But the night
no, I
would have,
but I got scared. I started asking people, and then you can't go back on it. I would have said no to Sam, but he'd already been asked, and what am I going to do?
Well, but if Sam...
I moved a couple spots around. No big deal. Coming, anything, you know.
But if you said yes to Sam, why did you keep asking guys you have a crush on? Why did you keep doing that? Why didn't you stop?
Rich, you've never sounded so NPR in your life. What happened?
I know, it's weird.
Why you only come when you're away?
What did you take? You're so like, did you take like a whole anxiety med?
I didn't take any anxiety. It's just because I'm working in Atlantic City for a week, and this is my third day, and I'm already beaten down. I'm going to come home for tonight.
It's a long week.
You're not at the Tropicana, right?
No, it's closed, Bonnie. I know you're trying to work a dig in on me, but it's closed now. I know what you're trying to do. I see this punchline coming a mile away, and it hurts a little bit.
I heard that they stopped doing comedy altogether after Sam.
I closed a 30-year room down after my weekend.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't get the check. They just closed the club, and the guy Bob Kephart. If anyone know him,
I love
I didn't say
the idea of he's just like, as he's on stage, that big ball was coming towards him.
He didn't pay you.
Oh, he disappeared. He owes Sean Donnelly. He owes a lot of guys money. He owes a lot of us money because
I used to work for him years, and I did a show there once. I was hosting it. This guy, Teddy Bergeron, was middling, and Norm Macdonald was closing.
Wow.
And he brought us in the back room. He goes, "This is the worst show I've ever had here." Right?
Well, Norm is not a casino act, you know?
Well, this was way before Norm was even famous.
Yeah.
So,
was it just you
He
in
was
the room?
famous in Canada already, because he was famous before he left.
Try not to cut me off on telling a story, please. Not, Anthony. So,
this is the kind of energy I was looking for. This is what I missed.
So,
Go ahead, husband.
I didn't work for the guy for 2 years. Then we're doing I was working in I'm working in New York City. He sees me, says, "Hey, I have this private show," and he put me and Norton on this big show up in the. After that, he goes, "Oh, I guess I'll start using this guy again." So I go in there. He gives me a week, and then I go, can I middle? He goes, yes, you'll be middling this week. So I walk into the casino, and I look who's performing there. It's a magic act, a juggler, and me. All right? Okay, I swear to God. So I go, well,
I know.
Absolutely perfect.
Actually, sounds like a great show.
Obviously, the magic act and juggler aren't going to host. So next thing I'm hosting. And his daughter used to work there at the time, so I said to her, I go, I'm not supposed to host, I'm supposed to middle. Da-da-da. So he calls me, he calls me yelling or whatever.
We got to go to break.
He calls me. So on Tuesday night, I said, can I have my $200 advance? And they gave me the $200. I go, tell Bob I quit. I got in the car and I drove home. After I got my advance for 2 nights, I go, I'm not fucking, the guy's out of his mind.
So what you're saying, the moral of this story is...
Sam has no chance of seeing that check. Let it go.
Because of you, he's just forever now, fucking comic's over. They fucked me over.
No, he just, I'm not... Listen,
it wasn't a good man.
Person he is.
He booked you after that, though, did he not?
He booked me one more time. He booked me again another year and a half later.
The funny part about the whole Sam situation is Sam was booked as a juggler that weekend. So it all comes together full circle.
Oh, God.
You know what? Bonnie, we should have waited on Ben. He was in the last minute.
You woke me up.
I always think of him as great. I'm always like,
great.
You
know what the worst part of that weekend is? They make you do a curtain call at the end, like all 3 acts have to come back out. So you have you have your mediocre set. You walk back to the room. You're like, all right, I want to go have a drink. I want to go back to my room. Then they're like, nope, you got to wait around and wave to everyone.
Oh, it's awful.
It's the worst.
At a casino.
Well, I did a club on Long Island, and they make you come out after and say goodnight. We were just sitting in the green room, and the woman comes back and she goes, guys, let's get out there. I'm like, wait, is this in my contract?
Club where they make you stay and help the waitresses clean up.
I just do that on my own because I'm a lady, and that's how I've been.
I'm at the Borgata, which is a beautiful room and a beautiful casino. It is.
Wait, that's not a normal thing? The comedians help clean up afterwards? That's not...
Thanks once again, Ben, throwing in interesting...
Atlantic City is gone to hell, and it's like Donald Trump's whole thing. He's like, I left before it got... He talking about Atlantic City like it's Iraq. Like, he's like, I left before it got really bad, but it's fucking bad.
Well, I mean, they're, like they built Revel, which is the size of a Las Vegas casino, and I'm thinking, these are the smartest people, dealing with the most amount of money when it comes to construction and gambling. And I'm going, in my head, why would they build a casino this big in Atlantic City when Atlantic City already is in trouble? You know what I mean? I couldn't, fathom it. And I worked at Revel a couple times, and the place was a Las Vegas casino. This casino, I think, does great because of this. I guess it has a good reputation or whatever.
Can I just stop you for a second? Can we look like we're having... Can we just get when he starts walking in there?
I'm facing you. I don't know how to look like I'm having fun from behind.
Yeah, get your arms up a little bit. Yeah. Like make it like some noise.
I'm having a good time, but I've never heard Rich be this low energy. I'm just trying to match his energy a little bit.
You don't have to. What you're going up?
I'm up. This is me up. Coffee.
I'm not in a bad mood. I'm not going to call up screaming and yelling. I mean, I'm not happy.
Am I doing all right? You're not listening, right? So you don't know how it's been going.
No, I didn't listen. I should listen. But why? I hear you for the last 10 years. Why would I? You know what I mean? I was supposed next week.
What is that? No, finish the sentence. Finish your thought. Go ahead.
Well, what I'm saying is, do your thing. I trust that you'll do a great job. There's no reason I have to listen. I know you're
Woo! Yeah, you got hilarious. Amazing. Hi, Michael. Come on in.
Oh, there he is. All right, Mikey.
This has been going great. This is one of the best shows we've ever done. Michael,
is this a total fucking disaster?
Yeah, no, I said, I go, let's pretend we're having fun.
Okay.
When you come in.
All right.
Yes, no, Rich is not here. He's in Atlantic City.
What happened to Rich?
He's on the phone, though, so don't
don't say any bad stuff about him.
First of all, Mike Monahan, thank you for coming in.
Michael. It's Michael.
The last minute.
No, it does matter.
Thank you. Because I don't know if you know this, but this is a very popular radio show that's drive time in L.A.
Really?
So, yeah.
You know what? I was in a green room with you and Bob Woodward, improbably enough, and I think you told me the same thing then. You told me it was a very popular show in, like, it's drive time in Seoul.
He's got it tattooed on his hand.
No, he was giving me the spiel, and then you went over and you took a selfie with Bob Woodward, the journalist who broke Watergate, and I said, oh, shit, maybe I should say hi, and, like, you know, because I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
And then Bob Woodward shushed me.
No.
He literally turned and shushed me because he was watching O'Reilly on the screen.
God.
And I was like, you know, I can tell you what he's going to say.
That kind of hurts.
Let me tell you guys, if you didn't hear this, Bob said to me, he said, I loved your appearance on Def Comedy Jam when you were the first white comic. I go, Bob, you were a big fan of Def Comedy Jam? He goes, yeah, I'm not fucking around. That shit was off the hook. And that's what he said to me, you know, on the side. He didn't really say that shit was off the hook.
Okay, well, we got to run. Thanks, Rich, for calling in.
Listen,
you got a show to do?
I got plugs to do. Hold on.
Oh, God.
Rich, hang on a second. Bonnie, Bonnie, I've never seen you this giggly and smiley. As soon as Michael walked in, and your hair's done today? Sorry, Rich, we'll get back to you. I mean,
guys, stop.
Makeup. Is that eyeshadow?
I just threw something on.
You are gorgeous tonight. Look how happy you are.
This is
now Michael is blushing now.
This is uncomfortable.
You guys would be so cute together.
You know, what I did was...
We slept together, by the way.
Rich is not here, so I said, you know, who are the 3 guys that I would most want to have near me when Rich dies? So I feel like we've got it here, and let's start the game.
I'll carry the casket. I'm looking forward to it. You know?
I mean, Bonnie, you mentioned before the show he was handsome, but now that he's like 4 feet from me, Michael, you are a good-looking guy.
It's so embarrassing.
Bonnie, you are.
You guys.
I'm very excited for this.
You guys. Please stop. Okay. Rich, go ahead with your plugs. Did he hung up?
I think he got in a car crash on the 405, I think we're together now.
He's driving here.
Yeah, no, we're actually married now because he's dead.
Oh, he's dead.
Yes.
Michael, thank you for coming. It's a weird show. We have weird callers. This is Ben Hegg, who is a comedian and sometimes our third mic. And then I don't know who that guy is, but he showed up.
We've done Red Eye a couple times
together. Yeah.
Oh, were you hosting? Did you ever host Red Eye?
I sat in for Andy a bunch of times, but never hosted. That was always Tom Shalhoub's. You know, he graduated to the big chair.
I know,
right?
he got the paycheck.
And then what happened to Gutfeld? He just disappeared.
No, his show's not on anymore?
Yeah, well, I mean, no one's watching it, but
well, it's unfortunate because Red Eye is such a great show.
Yeah.
It's so fun to do.
Yeah, I love
he shouldn't have given it up. He should have. Listen, I'm telling Greg Gutfeld what to do with his career.
Yeah.
He should have.
He's making piles of money.
I'm sure he's super rich.
Yeah.
That's not why I do it.
Yeah, of course not.
But I do it to get married to people like Rich Voss. But I feel like if he could have just moved that show earlier.
I think the struggle was always to get it not. I mean, it's in the 3 a.m. slot. It was always beating CNN shows.
Yes.
I mean, it probably says more about CNN.
I heard it was the most.
It's drive time for LA, though.
Yes, it's drive time in Da Nang, so huge Vietnamese community show. But you know, they were doing really well at 3 a.m. And there was something, I guess it was like a bit blue sometimes. I didn't want to move it to, I don't know.
No, because then then it wouldn't be the great show that it is.
Exactly.
But I heard that it was the most, and then now that I'm going to say this out loud, it sounds ridiculous. How would anyone know? But it's the most TiVo'd show.
It is.
Oh.
It is actually true.
How would they know that?
Well, they have ways of
I get
technology.
in weird markets, I'll get people who kind of come out a little bit on the road. Do you see that?
People would come and see me do stand-up and be so disappointed.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, I saw you on Red Eye.
I was in Scottsdale in March, and I was like blackout drunk, and this woman was like, oh my God, Red Eye. And I was like, yeah. I was like, that's the last thing I remember. I get an email the next day. She's like, you were very badly behaved last night. I'll be at your show tonight regardless.
Is that true?
She came out, yeah.
Did you find out what the bad behavior was?
She's like, you were just saying vulgar stuff, but I didn't do anything like...
Are you vulgar sometimes?
When I'm in a blackout, I'm not accountable for what I'm doing, Bonnie. Jesus.
No, but I've known you for a long time. You've always seemed... I mean, you're...
I'm a gentleman,
creepy, I would say. That's the most...
That's the last thing you want to be called by a woman, honestly.
You're not creepy. That's wrong. You're a creepy vibe. Your vibe is creepy, not you.
Yeah.
No. You're always well-behaved, nice, pleasant.
I would say gentleman. Most people say soothing. soothing, calming. I've heard a lot.
I've heard handsy. I've heard handsy a lot describing you.
No, there is somebody that's handsy, though.
In a comedic way?
Who used to be handsy was, what the fuck is his name? Norman.
Mark Norman?
Mark Norman.
Is handsy with you?
I remember at one point being like, I don't know you well enough to be having a shoulder thing.
A tit grab.
Yes.
Not to a road weekend, mister.
No insertion, please, because
we just met, and that's my labia.
Yes. No, but when guys do, and you do this a lot, you give women shoulder rubs.
I do.
But when guys are giving a shoulder rub, know.
That's a wrong, I shouldn't be doing
It's a frat move, I would say.
Yeah.
Would you, have you ever done it?
I've done it to a girl I'm dating. I don't just walk up to a girl and start massaging them. I think it's a bit aggressive.
So, but your inappropriateness was only verbal.
No, I was probably just saying wacky, vulgar. I it's in my nature to be a little provocative when I'm drunk, I would say.
Yeah.
So, exactly. Some would call me
we're now calling racism being provocative.
Some would call me the Lenny Bruce of blackout drinking, I would say. Pushing boundaries, taking chances.
He's the David Duke of blackout drunk.
After I put down a bottle of Jack, I get mysterious. Some people would say.
Cosby was being very provocative. Very provocative. No, when every woman, Kate, you've had guys just come up that you don't know that well to give you a massage, right? She's saying yes. And Kate, please. I always wonder, though, those guys must know that it's wrong to do, right?
Oh, it's such an annoying, aggressive mood. I've been when I was single, I have a guy I know who'd cock block me in that way. I'd be talking to a girl and he'd go behind him and just start massaging him and be like, "Are you fucking
But he's not
kidding me?"
cock blocking you. He's sending her to you, basically.
That's not always true.
No, it's not always true. I don't think so.
The most repulsive behavior is the one that is always rewarded in bars.
How do you think Rich got you?
Yeah.
I mean.
Right. I have a weird pathology where
it was a big swing. I missed. It happens sometimes.
I'm not saying you're completely off base. That's the truth of it is that to get turned on, I need to say no an enormous amount of times, and not a lot of men are willing at this point to keep trying. You know what I mean? It's
just persistent.
If you're a woman, it's like after the '80s, if you said no, guys were pretty you know. And then,
so we just got to break it down, McFarlane?
So it was very difficult to find someone who was willing to put in that kind of effort.
Yeah.
And Rich was. He didn't take no for an answer.
Kind of like texting a booker or something.
Yes.
Get in there.
All right, I'll put you on already.
I know. It's unrelenting. And it worked. Yeah. So, are we allowed to talk about anything with you? Or are we allowed to ask you any questions?
It doesn't mean I'll answer everything, but yeah.
Do you want to tug out your ear if I'm going?
Well, I'll just tell you to please stop.
No, but that's what I don't want you to embarrass me on my radio show.
I'm not going to, I'm going to embarrass you?
No, by saying no, I will not answer.
Oh, yeah, well, no, I'll do it in a more subtle way.
Oh. Did you guys read the book, So You've Been Publicly Shamed?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well,
Did you bring any copies for us?
I didn't write it.
He didn't write the book.
I don't have that level of talent.
One night I just, I couldn't sleep. I downloaded the book. John Ronson?
Yes, he wrote The Psychopath Test, The Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yes.
Which was a really bad George Clooney movie also.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, nobody did. But yeah, John's great. He's fantastic.
And the essence is kind of like the shaming culture that was.
It's your story,
exactly.
Though, right? The beginning portion of the book.
Well, I started reading it, and they were talking about a Michael Moynihan. I was like,
oh.
This is I know this guy.
If you had told me, I guess 2 or 3 years ago that I would be in that book, I would most certainly believe that I was being the one shamed, and I'm not the one shamed.
I mean, what is it?
It's me shaming somebody else, but it's really weird.
You're not really shaming someone. You're just being a journalist.
Exactly. And other people shame him.
In what way?
But you set him up for other people. It's like you walked him out into the middle of the Coliseum.
Yeah, it was like smoking a pipe. It was like, have at him. Go ahead. No, it was a journalist who was just hired by the New Yorker named Jonah Lehrer. Mm-hmm. And he was making millions of dollars off these pop science books. The last one was called, and this is the one that I exposed, and I don't even remember the name of it.
Oh, wow.
Imagine.
Oh.
It's called Imagine. And then he wrote one called Proust was a neuroscientist, etc. And like they were selling millions of copies.
But he wrote that one after.
And he wrote that was his first one. And he's since gotten 2 book deals.
Right.
I am doing My Wife Hates Me. Seriously.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that.
I am like the biggest fucking loser on the planet. Like shaming does not get you anywhere. Being shamed is profitable.
Yes. Well, we will do some of that for you.
I can't.
Of course.
I canceled a couple of spots, but okay, keep going. And,
so basically, he wrote a book called Imagine, and it's a pop science book, and it's about basically how creativity happens. Like that, they are absolutely full of shit. Like there's some way that creativity happens.
Right.
And the first chapter was about how Bob Dylan wrote Like a Rolling Stone. And I'm like kind of a Dylan nerd, like I'm autistic basically. And so I saw this and I was like, this isn't true. This can't
immediately. You didn't think like, oh, this is something I never saw before. Like I just didn't know this.
It was that too, and it was also not in the kind of cadence that Bob
Why is
Dylan
that shaming?
spoke.
Why is that shaming?
Well, because he made it up. Well, he basically made it up, and so I started looking into it, and I contacted him and did this kind of journalistic due diligence and said, hey, I can't find one like how this creative process works. Can you point me to them? And the first email that he sent me was so insane that I knew
backpedaling a little bit.
Why didn't he just not answer? What would you have done if he didn't respond?
I would have done exactly what I did already, but there wouldn't have been the lying component. I would have just said like, oh, this stuff's kind of bullshit, and then he would have gotten off. Right. But basically, I told him that I was writing for the Washington Post that summer, and I said, I have a deadline. And then when he said, I'm on vacation, I'll get you the answers, and it was the day after my deadline.
Right.
And at that point, I was no longer writing for the Washington Post.
Right.
And that's when I said, this guy's guilty. He's clearly doing something. So it spun out in this kind of 4 or 5 week drama of us going back and forth, and him just kind of breaking down emotionally and getting sort of more crazy and psychotic until the last day. And some of this is in John's book. And I think John left some of it out because he was fearful of further shaming Jonah. And that last day when he was like begging me not to publish. And I have a screenshot, which John didn't include in his book. I actually have never mentioned that he called me exclusive on my Facebook. He called me 25 or 26 times. There's 26 missed calls from Jonah Lehrer. And it was like the last day I was like, I have to publish. You keep going back in the bottle. My editor.
Did you feel?
I felt horrible.
Why do you feel bad?
Because I knew what was about to happen to him.
Okay,
and
so
he was just destroyed. I mean, he was really, really.
But you got 2 book deals. You said
really rough. But that has nothing to do.
He has 2 book deals. You said.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect this because I thought that in media that people would have some sense and some sense of propriety, and that his career would be over because it had happened before to certain people.
Now you go back and
well, I go back and look really bad, and this guy's doing pretty great.
Yeah, that's the ultimate thing that'll do you in as a writer. I mean,
you'd think that's like the one you can't in my business. It's the one. Yep. What used to be the one unforgivable sin, and we're sort of self-policing. Like, there's no union that tells you that gets rid of you. So people loved it because he was so successful, and they loved taking a guy down a bunch of pegs.
And then there's there's also like a mob mentality, and that thing happens, and it overwhelms reason. Go at you.
Oh my God, it was horrible. Yeah, what people were doing,
Yeah.
And so that's John was talking about.
Then there was this moment where he went to do a public apology.
Yeah.
And they decided to put up a Twitter screen behind him in real time. So while he's doing his public apology, you can see people being like, "You're full of shit." One
of the first tweets that said "You're still lying" was me, and John didn't mention that. I was watching it when I was on vacation in Denmark. Like I stayed up and was watching this because it turned out he got paid $25,000.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing too.
And the only
that comes out later.
The New York Times headline a couple days later was "Plagiarism Pays." Because he also got
4 apologies a week.
I mean, Jesus, I got what I got paid for that piece, which was like a pittance, and I spoke a couple of times about it.
So 2 other people got money out of your journalist.
Oh yeah, a lot of people got.
Like John Ronson.
John made a lot of money.
But even in the book, though, he said
kind of
about you, he said you have a hard time monetizing your writing.
That's true.
But when you read that, didn't you feel like?
I had a lot of mixed feelings reading that, but I really like John a lot, and I've seen him a number of times since. And right after that book came out, I was doing my show for Vice, and one of the guests in the show was a guy from NPR. and their friend. He said, I have the galley copy, the sort of pre-release copy. See it. And I didn't know if I wanted to. And of course, John didn't send me one.
Right.
Because,
he doesn't want you to get mad.
No, and he's like, it's so funny because John's the nicest guy, but he's like really wimpy. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't want to like be like mean to you or anything. Like, and he's like doing this thing.
Oh,
and he's,
wow,
like,
I know that's how he sounds.
Yeah, he sounds like, Stu Sutcliffe of like one of like the loser Beatles. And he was like really kind of nervous about it. And I read it, and yeah, I initially got a really bad feeling about it because he sets it up in a way that is it's right, but it's this sort of little guy, big guy, successful journalist, kind of loser journalist. And that's I'm a loser journalist, by the way.
I didn't.
You seem slightly unclear about that.
No, I
didn't
know how to respond to it. Yes, that's exactly how he set it up.
Mike, I'll follow it.
No, it's like, and so he's the guy. Yes. And I found out afterwards, by the way, a friend of mine at the LA Times sent me an article from the LA Times, and I had imagined him because, like, I just don't think about this stuff. Because he told me when he was like, "Don't ruin my life," kind of thing. He's like, "I have a kid he was the exact same age as my daughter."
Oh, everything he says is so incriminating, though.
Yeah, it was like, and so he was like, "I got a kid, and like, it's going to be horrible, and like, why are you doing this to me?" kind of thing. And so I'm imagining him in LA, in like El Segundo, with like, chickens running.
Right, he needs a new sofa. Yeah.
It was like, and it turned, my friend of mine, after the story came out, sent me a piece from the LA Times about his house. And he lived in a Julia Schulman house, who's this very famous mid-century modern photographer. And it's on the historic register, and he bought it for like $2-point-something million in the Hollywood Hills. And it's unbelievable. It's this beautiful glass thing that juts out from the mountain. And then I was like, well, fuck this guy. So I was like total class rage.
They always say that when they're rich.
You're on your futon/bed.
It was literally like I was
eating a ramen noodles. Like, should I go?
Yeah, it was like a prison camp. I was like typing on a lap. It was terrible.
That's what. Remember, Latrell Sprewell, the basketball player, said they offered him a $21 million contract. It was like his last contract, and he was like, I got to feed my kids, and he never worked again in the NBA. So it's always those people stupid rich.
Yeah, and he did really well off cheating, basically, and that like kind of pissed me off. And it's kind of annoying when people say like, I just did this to another guy a couple weeks ago, which was weird because Gaviano, who wrote a book called Gomorrah, which sold 13 million copies.
Gomorrah?
It's a big film, too. It won a bunch. I don't know if you say, but
I have a joke about Sodom and Gomorrah. I didn't know if it's something.
You can always interrupt me with sort of anal sex references. Totally fine. So yeah, then I just did that, and he accused me and he's like a millionaire. He's made millions off this. And then he accused me on the cover of La Repubblica, which is one of the biggest papers in Italy, of being a member of the mafia, which was great. Because he writes about how the mafia erupted, and he has all this protection all the time because people are trying to kill him. And so I just wrote a piece about his new book, which was full of plagiarism and lies. And he was like, no, it's clearly a mafia plot.
Why would
and so I just like, I don't know, everyone's making lots of money, and I'm just exposing
You're just
them.
Exposing.
And then I'm like living home on the J train.
At night.
Not really.
No, I don't believe that, I don't know. It's like, I always think that, like, the bad people seem to get ahead.
They do. It's absolutely, look, and this is advice for instance. It is absolutely true. The bigger of a dick that you are, anyone nice that's like the head of a company.
That guy's getting 20 million lira for an apology.
Oh, yeah, which is, I have no idea.
Per apology, 20 million lira.
It's like 40 cents.
But why would a writer plagiarize? It seems like you'll get caught. It's a crazy thing to do, especially in the age of internet. Like, why are they doing it?
It's a mystery. I mean, I think it's a pathological behavior.
Well, there was one guy a few years ago that I guess had written, like, I don't know, books or something. I'm just guessing because I can't remember now the story, but he plagiarized a little in the first one and then more and more and more. And pretty soon he was just taking full chapters from other books, and then somebody finally caught on. But it's like the editor doesn't know.
By that point, you're rich, though.
I worked in publishing, too, and it's such a volume business, and nobody stops to check this stuff at all.
Right.
Like, your editor doesn't do shit. I mean, this guy that wrote it, he owned a bookstore. I think he got kicked out of the partnership in Brooklyn, and he was writing a spy book under the name of QR Markham. And it got like a huge advance for it. And the book comes out, and some nerd on like some spy book kind of website is like, does anyone else realize that these are alternating chapters taken from Ian Fleming?
Wow.
Who wrote James Bond.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's not like, you know, like, there's
So
a
when
dude
that
here
guy
called
gets
Dr.
caught,
No.
he
Why
doesn't
are
go
you...
to jail or anything,
No,
right?
but it depends on what your contract's like. I mean, he probably had to pay back his advance.
Oh.
But, you know, he's just been humiliated and he's been disappeared.
James Bond was the main character. Nobody caught on. They're like,
he
this
must
is
have
fucking
known
weird.
at
Tim
some
Bond
point.
from Wales.
Yeah. He drinks everything stirred instead of shaken. They're like, this is kind of confusing.
This is gold.
We should look into this.
Yeah, but I don't know. With these people, it happens every day. And I see it all the time. Like, I don't want to write about this anymore. So people tell me about I found somebody plagiarizing, and I become that person. I don't want to be
I'm not
the guy.
I'm not gonna send you my book.
Look at how many.
I tweeted about your book.
You did?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're
I said
so
everyone.
sweet.
We need
somebody else. I
someone,
just retweeted it.
Oh.
It's like, I'm going to do something
Thank you.
original about your shitty book.
I know.
Is your book out yet?
In February 23rd. You can pre-order it.
I can't. Yeah. Who pre-order? Do people pre-order it?
I don't know, but someone told me that if you get enough pre-orders, it all goes on to the first day of sales.
Yeah.
So then you can get on the New York Times
Yeah.
bestseller list that way.
Yeah, and it's.
I only
pretty
need
low
to be on the
threshold.
New York Times bestseller list for 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah, 1 week, and it's a really low bar.
Oh, you
these
need 1
days.
week?
Yeah, just one was. Yeah, well, I mean, they do it in week increments.
Oh, I thought it was like 1 day. I was like, let's just do what? Let's
Yeah.
just get there.
It's like some board that's moving
Now
all the time.
I've given up. Who cares if you pre-order it? I've totally given up. I thought I had a shot.
Like 10,000 copies is basically all you need to sell in 1 week. Seriously, it's a really low. It used to be like 50,000 or something. And now
He's
it's
setting
pretty
you
low.
up for disappointment if you don't make it the way. I mean, it's only 10,000 copies, McFarlane.
Yeah.
And I've
can
sold
radio
7,000 already, according to my tweets. No, I think 38 is actually probably. Well, whatever. But no, I did not. I did not plagiarize. Although when the editor goes through, when you tell a true story, they make you lie. Not the editor, but the lawyer.
Yeah.
In a way, they make you lie because they're scared that the person you're talking about might sue. So then you have to change their job name. You know, you have to change enough things about them where you're like, well, now you're making me lie.
That just happened to Lena Dunham in her unbelievably successful and fantastically unfunny book. She's just not funny, by the way. Can we all acknowledge this and stop being political about it?
I can't because I'm a woman in comedy.
Yeah, I'm so proud of her for just taking her shirt off. It's like I've seen it once.
I don't like
enough.
the nudity. I think it's a generational thing for me. It's like, I don't know. I just would rather watch you with your shirt on. I don't get what it is.
But she's making a political point about how, you know, you can be naked on TV and
have you heard Mark Norman's joke about her?
No.
Where he says, he's like, she's gross, and this woman's like, how dare you say that? She's not gross, and then he goes, you kind of look like her, and she goes, fuck you.
But she accused somebody of rape, like some guy, and it was like pretty much somebody she went to college with. And she said it was like a college Republican, which is a little too perfect, by the way, named something or other. And there was a guy, there was like one Republican at Oberlin, and that was his name. And so they changed all the copies.
You know, it's funny. I didn't know she went to Oberlin, but I was going to guess Oberlin or
it was
Vassar.
like Bennington, Oberlin or Vassar. There's like
What
three
is
schools she could have gone to.
Isn't that partly her fault for fucking a Republican? I mean, come on. Jesus. Well, we can get in about rape. No, we can, we got to take a break right now, but then we're going to come back in 10 minutes or so. I don't know how long the breaks are. I've been doing this over a year. And then we'll all get coffees, everybody. We'll hold hands. We'll get this right on the second half. What do you say? Everybody's on their phones?
Michael saved the show.
Do you have any plugs?
Yeah, shit, I just lost. This Friday, o'clock in Newport, Rhode Island at,
I was just there. It's a nice place, Newport.
Dougie Key's Wasted Talent
You're
show.
headlining now?
Shut up.
You've moved up? Okay.
This is the same fucking joke you've been running.
My album Class Act came out on Friday on iTunes, so keep buying it. It's good.
Really?
It's a good album. It did.
Don't act like it's number one.
That's not true, Bonnie. A lot of people say 4 or 5. A lot of people can't crack the Louis Schumer code. But I broke through the Gaffigan wall.
No, Sam, everyone knows you're so funny. Your album is, I think it was at that
you were at the
taping.
taping.
It's so,
Yeah, thank you.
You're one of the people that you make me jealous of your fucking writing.
All right. And the special, my Comedy Central special is on demand. So if you have on demand.
That one's not so good.
It's the same, it's the same jokes, Bonnie. Damn it. And I'll be in Fort Myers next weekend. So just, Belushi's. That's the name of the club.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, Bonnie.
But it's
I might go Belushi that weekend.
What's the guy's
Hey,
name?
I've worked there before, so fuck you.
Yeah.
What's the brother's name? Because this would have been a funny joke.
Jim?
Yeah, if I was it's Jim Belushi's.
Oh, it is.
No, it really is.
He owns it. Yeah.
God, it's not even.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
The reason that John doesn't own it is because he died like 35 years ago.
I know, but I
You
mean,
thought it was an homage to him.
Yes. And I was like, what's synonymous with comedy? Belushi. Not
buy Class
Jim
Act.
Belushi
That's the main
is not
thing.
synonymous with comedy.
Buy my album. 100% guarantee you'll like the album.
Ozzy
Class Act.
Canseco of that.
Class Act.
Class Act.
Carlins, Gary Carlins in Oakland.
All right, we'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back to My Wife Hates Me. I am cis-born Bonnie McFarlane. I had two other guests. I don't know where.
What
now
happened?
It's just down to Sam and I. They're like acting like they can just take as long a break as they want.
They're just hanging.
I guess you win. You win the rose just by sticking around.
I'm happy. I'm glad to be here.
Good. Well, what's going on with you, Sam?
I don't know. What were we talking? Oh, we were talking
Do
about...
you have anything happening, like, career-wise? I don't mean it to be an asshole like that, but, like, okay, you made the album.
Right.
That's out. Then you did a Comedy Central special. So you have some heat. You had things going on.
I don't know.
We're with the same management company,
Yes.
right? They always come to your shit. They never come to my shit.
Really?
Never. Rich and I get so upset.
I work more with Steve, and he's like the younger guy, so...
Yeah, I guess. He's
like the driven one.
I feel like Steve hates me.
No, definitely not.
I feel like Steve and Chad are always like, whenever... Hi, guys, we're on the air.
Oh.
Well, you have Rick has like a family and shit.
Thanks a lot, man.
I like that he's really rubbing in the Mets hat too. Like he doesn't want to be here. He wants to be watching the game right now, right?
Is there a Mets game right now?
The World Series, Bonnie.
What's the World Series? Is it when two
Poker event.
Is it just American?
It's American.
But that's American. That's such an
what we do.
American thing to do.
It's the Mets and the Kansas City Royals.
Call it the World Series.
It's a big game.
Who do you want to win?
I mean, I definitely want the Mets to win.
And you want Kansas?
Yes. Yeah. Kansas.
Just Kansas.
Kansas, not Kansas City.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
Just Kansas.
I'm a lady. Do you guys watch girl basketball?
No, does anyone?
Yeah, no, of course. We do, right, Kate?
No, you don't.
Kate and I go to each other's houses all the time.
I don't really watch.
Watching ball.
I'm a big basketball guy.
Are you a hockey serious?
No.
You watch? Okay.
No, I don't even like good basketball.
Because I thought, yeah.
So,
I thought it was just lesbians. Watch that.
I know.
It's true.
Hockey, Bonnie? Do you do hockey?
I've never, I'll
Did you
answer your
fucking
question
hockey,
in a second.
Canadian?
But the lady basketball thing is funny to me that you would
The
like.
lady basketball.
If you were really into it, you'd have to know where they are on their cycles and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like
That's
you'd have to
interesting.
take it into account.
There's no WNBA FanDuel or DraftKings or anything.
Yeah, it's like, well, she's got a 21-day cycle. I'm not taking her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know my favorite thing ever was that in the
Jimmy the Greek
Giants.
setting the Vegas lines.
The Giants were playing the Cowboys on Sunday, and this guy Greg Hardy is just like he's just got back from like a domestic violence. He's out with domestic violence. You know,
Oh,
they
he's
say it like
out
it's an
with,
injury or
right,
something.
right.
Like that's how casually they talk about it.
Didn't the NFL or the NBA, one of the things, had the first week or month where someone wasn't arrested? I saw this news story. It was a real thing. Yeah, it was like the first month since
my God. It's like they put
1841.
up in the back of restaurants, they put like, how many days without
Injury
an injury.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
They can only have 1 week.
I think that was the NFL. I think it was the first
NFL,
time they've
yeah.
gone.
Well, they really rub it in your fins and shit. Everyone's
Yeah.
like they're like breast cancer every month.
Yeah.
You know,
They're really anti-breast cancer, but they're very pro-beating women,
Yeah,
as far as I can tell, because that's always what it is.
I think they
It's
don't
never...
want you to have breast cancer because it would be cruel to beat someone up who just had chemo.
Right.
You know what I mean? They want you healthy.
They're weak. They can't defend
They
themselves.
want you.
the NFL cares. That's what they're trying to. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, we're not going to fucking punch down on anybody who's already got some other...
And if you're wearing a pink ribbon, it softens it.
I do like that on the Google autocomplete. There was NFL crime rate. Like it's its own nation.
Oh.
There's apparently a lot of websites that there's an NFL arrest database.
Oh.
I'm very serious about that. So
A database would suggest a lot of names.
Lots of names. If it needs to be contained within a database,
Yes.
usually a lot
It's
of names.
not a list.
No, it's not a list.
You can search by crime, search by last names.
Yes.
It's on a spreadsheet.
Well, that's it for the show, guys. I don't know what to
Are you serious?
how to keep it
We
rolling.
go till 9.
Rich won't stop talking. Rich hates dead air so much.
You can enjoy the dead air every now and
He's
then.
so scared of dead air that he'll just keep talking. I never have to do any work.
I've noticed it when I hang out with him.
I just yeah. It's like.
If you get any plagiarism stories,
I got nothing else.
That's
pretty much all I do.
So, what are you working on right now?
It's kind of boring. I'm working on the second season of my Vice show.
You're on the right show.
That's the first.
Here's this boring story.
Yeah,
You're in the right place, kid.
That's what I was asked to do. Kind of like the human Ambien. I just put people as I'm working on the second season of my Vice show, which is has a really name that I'm not a huge fan of, called The Business of Life, that I host. And
you host?
Yeah, I host.
Oh,
I host.
shit.
I mean, I'm huge.
I didn't even know this about you.
It's really out of your demographic.
Yeah.
It's sort of like for the kids.
It's it is. I thought it was
kind of a young
I thought
people.
it was because I'm dumb. I didn't know it.
Well, no, there's that too. But I mean, let's take it one at a time. This is really,
yes.
Jeez, it takes a while. I love it because it's great though. I say like it's for young kids, but we shoot it in front of an audience, and there's like a reel that plays beforehand, and there's some. I shouldn't be saying sorry. There's some like a reel. And it says
no
like
one's
it's for.
listening.
I know. Trust
you
me.
have no worries.
Yeah, I've
say whatever negative thing ever you want.
I am not believing the drive time bullshit.
Somebody from LA, call in right now.
But it says like it shows the audience like some clips and stuff from Vice, and there's somebody from Vice saying, it's a young people's, the people who shoot it have to be young, the people who host it, and like I'm 41, so I'm like I am the oldest person in that office by like years.
Yeah, but you're a man, so it doesn't seem that bad.
Stop whining.
Here we go.
I mean, a 41-year-old woman is like 75. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're going to put the ages next to each other.
Things are going pretty well. Things are pretty good.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Gender.
I'm sorry. You have your own show, and on
you guys are
SiriusXM.
still...
The board is doing all right.
Yeah, it's like all white men. Do you guys consider yourselves feminists?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Well, not in like the Jezebel way, but in like, we believe in equal rights. Absolutely.
Now, do you believe in equal rights?
No, I believe you. I
know, I like it, though, as long as it doesn't affect what you got going on, right?
Yeah, I don't think they should make that much money or be allowed to vote, but otherwise, I think they should get the equal rights. Absolutely.
Do you always pay on a date?
Yeah, you have to.
I think that's such a weird thing that feminists have adopted for themselves. Is like they want equal pay at work, but then they still make it seem like if he doesn't pay for you, he's garbage.
Well, they decide whether or not you have to get laid, so it's not like I don't think that's a feminism thing. I think that's like a kissing up thing, you know?
Yeah, you said that before. You said that to me once. You're like, the girl always wants the guy to pay, but then they want the seat on the subway as well. It's like
it's a weird. I just find it to be.
Pick a side.
Look, I don't think I think that's a nice gesture if the guy wants to pay, but the idea that women have made it into this thing where it's walls is a bizarre. It's really not a step to me.
It says so much. It's like if a woman pays on a date, you're like, oh, she doesn't like me. That's like kind of what it means, right?
No,
it's like you're not getting laid.
But that's if she asks for the check before you get the entree.
You're really equating like a meal with sex. Like,
you have to pay.
I mean, it doesn't
also
make
you should
sense.
just want to treat. If you're a guy, I think, you should want to treat him well, I guess. That's like the thing.
I agree with you. I'm not taking that away.
Sam, you're doing it wrong.
That was really said with so much conviction. I guess you have to treat them well.
He's like
buy them a sandwich or whatever. get the chips with it if you want.
I'm a feminist. I guess
you sit down places.
You gotta pay for these bitches. That's the feminism.
I did not say that.
That was Sam who said that.
Listen, I'm not spending long enough.
You guys keep taking it up a notch.
Wait 1 second.
You saved me. That provided.
I knew you wanted to say that, but you didn't know what kind of show we were. That's the kind of fucking show we are, Michael.
Laurier?
It's Lorraine.
Lorraine, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
Hey, I'm so happy to talk to you. I don't know who the other dudes are, but
who cares, Lorraine?
Typical female caller. We're letting them call now. Did your husband dial the phone?
This is the woman he's on with a date so far. Right?
Jesus, I can't believe. What would you like to say?
They didn't believe that it was drive time on the West Coast, but I just got off work and I'm driving home listening to you guys.
There you go. There you go.
Look at that time zone confirmation from Laura.
In Oregon. In Oregon, nonetheless.
I'm glad you called in
Huge
because
markets.
I happen to know Michael Moynihan would have fucking nailed my ass to the wall if that hadn't been true.
Yeah.
You know, he would have hunted it down.
That's
He would have found
kind of
it
a hot
out.
expression.
Yeah.
What?
Nail your ass to the wall.
I'm just like in a fog right now.
Is that not a
about,
thing?
No, well, I mean it is.
He would just hold me up and kiss my neck and spank me.
Bob Dylan said that.
Yeah, it absolutely is a thing. But
Thanks for
sure
calling
you
in.
understand what
Or
it
else
means.
Michael
Is there anything else you'd like to say, or
Mix
is
my
that it?
earlobes.
That's good, Bonnie. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Laura. I changed your name.
All right.
Okay.
Or the spelling.
I mean, it's hard. It was like Lahra.
Yeah, it was.
She seems sweet.
I
You would
liked
go
her.
out with her?
Yes.
No, you always pay. At what point do you stop paying?
I mean,
every
once you
time for your
start dating
girlfriend?
and like, yeah, I mean, you kind of like can't pay forever, you know? There's got to be some point where you're like, oh, you know, she'll pay.
Yeah, you
she'll
gotta pay off the bat.
Yeah, she'll pay
You
for
gotta-
like the
Like
bullshit
once you get
dates.
anal? Like, what is the things that makes you?
Well, you know, no, you pay for the first few and then they, you know.
At what point, Michael?
I always try to pay. I do. I mean, I
Even
pay
with your
every time.
wife?
That's kind of a different show. That's a complicated story. But yeah, I would say yeah.
Do tell.
We'll take
Are
it.
you tugging at your ear?
Yeah. I'm over here tugging at something just to tell you.
No,
stop.
you pay for
You see the
like the
shiny
big stuff.
sweat? Why are you sweating building on my head?
Jesus.
I'm a type 1 diabetic. That's I
You
think I have
pay
low
for,
blood
like,
sugar.
Oh my
Come
God.
on. Yeah, I do. I always pay. Always. And by the way, on the feminism thing, this is this really annoying thing because it's this thing. People are going around testing everybody all the time.
Yes.
It's always
yes.
this news story. It's like some
Yes.
actress said she wasn't a feminist. And then, this gang,
Yes.
it's like, warriors, and they all show up and they say, you're a bad person for saying no to that question, and you don't know what it means, and they do know what it means. They just don't
Right.
like that gang of people.
Well, because the nothing scares me more than backlash from a feminist organization.
Oh, it's
I mean,
really- they're
talk
attack-
about shame. They can kill you.
They're attacking Jermaine Greer right now. Do you know Jermaine?
No,
she
why
was like
haven't-
one of the first wave feminists. She was like a big deal.
Oh,
like,
I did read
like
this story.
Gloria Steinem, Jermaine Greer, and Jermaine Greer, who's this Australian kind of rabble rouser. So they asked her about trans, which
But
is
she's
like
also
a big
like
thing.
78 or
She's like
something.
100 years old. Yeah, she's like
She's on the front lines.
She's really on the front. She's on the front lines, and so she was like, she coughed up this furball during an interview, and she was like, I don't think trans, they're not women. That's
Yes,
what she's
right.
because she's like an old school fan, and she's like, I don't think they're women, and it's like not real, and like everyone freaked out, and they tried to ban her from university.
Yes. Oh,
So
yes, they
she's-
kept saying the university was saying, I don't think people that are saying aggressive, negative things should be allowed to speak on campus. It's like, that's the only way you get to the bottom
But
of shit.
here's the thing: everything like this is creating a hostile environment. It's a violent.
I have an interesting thing that happened to me last night. I was popping around the village. I did a
You
set
need
that-
to stop. It's not you. He was speaking, right?
Mom.
And then you just.
Mom.
This better be very good.
It's not all right. Go ahead. Finish. Forget the story. Jesus fucking Christ! Which cable news show
Go
is this
ahead,
where I can't get a
Sam.
fucking word in?
You started
Jesus
now.
Christ. All right, I'm doing a spot at a bar, and one of the servers walks over to me, and he's like, "You're welcome. I got 2 girls in, and you need a woman like me to do that." And I started laughing. I was like, "You're a guy," and he's like, "You can't tell me how I identify." And I laughed again. He was like, "I'm completely serious right now."
Yeah.
That actually happened to
Yeah,
you?
it actually happened. I said, well, all right. I was like, that's cool. You're a woman. That's cool. I was just not trying to be a dick at that
Right.
point.
Yeah, but
He
then-
brought people on the show, and then he said,
She said,
I'm sorry again.
All right, Hitler.
I know, Jesus.
I know, but that's the thing. It's like so hard that it's like I'm of a generation that gender's been ingrained in me, so it's a hard thing to change. I'm trying, but I feel like
gender's a real.
Well, I feel like
he wouldn't let it go. He wouldn't let it go.
Be annoying about it. I'm sorry.
As I was
Yeah.
leaving, he made a comment again, and he's like, you didn't respect me as a woman. I was like, I mean, you can't get mad at me. I'm like, fine, I'm ignorant. I'm sorry.
No, it's a setup. The thing is that this a woman, guy, whatever, is not accentuating person, whatever. They're waiting for you to do that so they can get on the soapbox.
This guy never wig on or anything.
It's a setup.
Throw on a
It's like-
fucking dress or something.
It
Give
is,
us some
and it's
effort.
no disrespect to people, to trans people, whatever. But like when you have like a Freddie Mercury mustache and like a leather jacket, and you're just like, hey, as a woman, you're just like, you're sort of kind of, you're baiting the hook.
Yes, and one of the issues that I have a little bit with people who transition later in life and then they're a woman, is that you've been a man, you've been a white this whole time. You've had like the privilege of being a white man this whole time, and now you're gonna.
We started this show talking about how much of a fucking loser I was. Everyone's telling me all the time on Twitter and like always like you're so privileged. Like I don't know, like where is this privilege being stored? That I don't do. Well, what is the privilege?
Do you or do you not pee standing up? Am I right, ladies?
I don't. Like, why do you just, it's cool if you get to identify whatever you want. But
I don't know if you've ever sat down in a porta potty, but it's gross. Okay. It's not fun.
I guess if the final frontier of the gender wars is that it, like you have to wait too long at Yankee Stadium to go to the bathroom, you know, you're doing okay. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm a radical on this issue.
Why you're allowed to? I guess that's the day and age we live in where like you can identify whatever you want, but it's like I mean, at a certain point, if you're not making an effort, if I just was like if I was just like to this guy, well, I'm a seagull. You have to talk to me like I'm a bird. And you don't do that, I feel offended. You know, at some point you have to like fucking just acknowledge that it is a little silly. I'm not saying that I don't respect you, and like at some point you have to be like, okay, you're a woman, but you can't get mad that I didn't guess that you're a woman.
Right.
You were a man.
Maybe on your T-shirt or something, you put it, or wear a hat that says I am a woman.
But he was genuinely offended that I didn't guess that he was a woman.
Well, I was at the stand and the bartender there. He was looking at this lipstick. I guess somebody left it at the bar, so he was like looking at this lipstick, and then he went like to ask me what I wanted. I go, oh, I thought for a second you were going to put it on, and he goes, well, if I did, what's the big deal? Yeah. Like he was so aggressive about it. I was like, oh, no big deal. I just said I thought you were going to put it on.
You should have just said, well, I would have thought you were a fucking weirdo. And then just walked out. Throw your money down and walk out and go to a normal bar.
Do we have the vibe of the people that are really against you? That's what I want to know.
Do I look like somebody that's like going to be against? Yeah.
Sam, were you blackout when this happened? Because you do get creepy. We already discussed this.
I don't understand. It's like they're doing it in the safest place, and they're attacking the least aggressive people.
I'm trying. I'm really trying. I really am. I'm going to get a Rosetta Stone transgender, and I'm going to fucking nail this shit. I'm going to do it.
You know, there's something that people love outrage so much. They love it. Confers this sense of purpose on them, and they start eating their own. And that's why, like, Jermaine Greer is being attacked by saying, like, you're not feminist enough. When people ask you, are you a feminist? The answer should not be yes or no. It should be, how are you defining this?
Yes.
Because people define it in the weirdest ways. If, like, you know, are you an ally? That's the other language that I hear all the time. And they're basically saying, do you agree with me politically on everything? Well, and if you don't, then you're kind of a traitor to the cause. Like Lena Dunham's a traitor, and then she's a hero. Then Amy Schumer's a traitor, and you know I feel bad for Amy Schumer on this because she not only has to deal with like this enormous amount of fame and wealth. It's so terrible.
It's awful.
It's awful for her.
It's really gross. Amy, our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Yeah, it's like her and Haiti. That's what I think about all the time. And then
Amy.
And then she's now like made this like avatar for feminism. And by the way, she's like taking it. She's smart about this and taking it, and that's her shtick now. Like, the show is all super political now, and everyone loves it.
I know, but it's like the Kurt Metzger, who feminists troll and hate.
The guy, he does the race wars thing?
Yes. So that's the face of feminism. That they don't. He's a fucking genius. And that's the face of feminism that you should put up there and be like, but feminists have been mad at him and
well, he did the Girl You Don't Need Makeup. That was him. That sketch was him, which was hilarious. Yeah. And he's provoked everyone. I mean, every person.
But that's how you're supposed to do it.
But here's the thing about someone like Kurt is that I love, not him, I mean, not his looks, but he, it's
monstrous.
He is
as funny as he is difficult to be around as a human being.
Well, I truly, truly enjoy and love and respect people that are willing to say things that are going to be unpopular. And I think we're losing those people at such a fucking fast rate. And it's like, those are the like, even like, I think women should look at Ann Coulter and be like, yes, because there should be more women that are brave. No, listen, hear me out. I think they're not afraid. And there's not that many women that will say some fucking crazy shit because they want to be liked too much. And she doesn't care.
Look, that's why she's like friends with Sherrod. Because she's like a performance artist. I mean, I don't know what part of what she says she believes.
I don't know.
She doesn't. I don't really care because she's like a stunt woman, and I don't agree with anything she says.
Right, I agree.
But I find that there's like I just sit there and I don't say like, well, what about this point? I just say like, I would never say that.
I would never say that. You should give some credit to somebody who's willing to say some shit, get a conversation going. Look, everyone always talks about wanting world peace. I don't want to live in them with each other. It's I gotta leave. I can't.
It's really every dinner party in New York. I did point this out because you were saying about Metzger. I didn't know that. But a friend of mine who had said that the 12 Angry Men sketch,
I love that
and
one.
it was great, and it's like it's political and all that stuff, and political in the right way for these people. And then the camera pans over, and then you see Nick DiPaolo. It's like, it's sort of political in the right way, but then there's Nick DiPaolo sitting right there, who probably doesn't share your politics. But everyone is just projecting everything they want on.
Yeah, but that's the point is that funny wins, and Nick is also a great comic.
He's
obviously.
a great. He is
so
fantastic.
like Nick's a great example of a guy where you're like you don't have to agree with what he's saying, but you can't say that guy's not hilarious.
But this is the thing about comedy is great for this. Like as journalists, there's like so much to kind of learn about how people interact. Because like DiPaolo is on Louis' show, and they have this kind of contentious relationship, but they've known each other for a long time, and they're friends and stuff. But in journalism, it is really tribal. Like you don't talk to people on the other side, where it seems like in comedy nobody really gives a shit. Which I kind of appreciate.
Well, I think there's more hanging out. Like we have to see each other more in comedy. Yeah.
Well, but also I think reasons why I love comedy, being in a comedy club and hanging around comics.
You love the hang. McFarlane
I love the
hang
because nobody honestly gets mad at me for things I say. Like sometimes somebody will respond or call me full of shit or have their own take on things, but it's almost never like. I just hate that you get mad at the other side just because they're Republicans saying it, or just because it's.
When I write about politics a lot, are unbearable because they apply all of their life to everybody else. And there was an interview with what's her name from Portlandia. He used to be in that band. Whatever her name is, she's very funny.
Yes.
So there was an interview with her in the Sunday Times, and Anna Marie Cox, who's a writer, and she's very nice, and like she's a very political writer. The second question she asked her was like, does it bother you that like conservatives like this Portlandia stuff because you're making fun of like hippie liberals? And her response was great. She was like, no, I don't care. So there's jokes are the jokes. I don't care what people think about them. But we, as like political writers, always apply our worldview to everybody.
Why can't you like stuff that you don't agree with?
That's what I mean. We live in this kind of world now. Where people actually think that kind of stuff.
I almost appreciate a great example. Like I disagree. Yeah. I disagree with a lot of the things he says on stage, but I'm like, you made me laugh with it. I like it that much more.
Yeah, so well too because he never gives a shit.
Exactly. Honesty is refreshing.
Funny to him, and he doesn't.
Yeah. I would like him less if he.
I think when comics get older, though, a lot of times they appear to not care what the audience is thinking, but they can't hear.
Would DiPaolo be more successful if he wasn't like so overtly conservative? Because he was on. I don't know.
We talked about this. So. I think honestly, being conservative in showbiz. Kind of hurts you.
Because I don't think Colin Quinn isn't conservative, but he's not. He's not a kind of lefty kind of guy.
His show was conservative, and I think that's why it got taken off the air.
I think he got branded conservative. I think Colin's kind of like
libertarian.
Hates, I don't know, but I think he hates that phony bullshit liberalism.
Yes.
I think Colin is kind of somewhere in the middle.
Well, I heard him on NPR one time talking about how he's a conservative.
That Terry Gross interview, which was like super uncomfortable, it was like 4 years ago or something. It was really great because he's amazing, and then he gets the Tough Crowd was an incredible show.
Yeah,
it was and it introduced me to all the comics that I like now. Every single one, from like Patrice to Nick DiPaolo and all these guys.
I was on it.
And I must have missed all of those episodes.
Episode 5.
I fast forward over the women comics. That's just a thing.
I was younger.
But yeah, it's like, that got taken off the air and there's nothing like it's been.
You couldn't have a show like that on the air now. Late night, you'd have, I used to watch that when I was in college. College kids now would, everything would be offensive.
Yeah. What's the closest thing now?
Everything would be offensive.
But I think one of the reasons is because kids don't have any pain in their lives. Yeah. I mean, I really feel, unless they're getting hit by their parents, and I applaud their parents. That's why, like, any little thing that makes them feel uncomfortable, they're like, I should not have to feel this.
You can also hide behind everything now to voice your opinion. There's Twitter. 10 years ago, you couldn't do that. You couldn't right now, somebody could contact you via Twitter, say whatever you said tonight they think was offensive, and they don't have to say it. You couldn't do that.
And it is changed. Like, I don't know how it's changed the comedy club, but like you just mentioned Bill Maher, and like I did his show last month, and the first segment was on Islam, and he's not an Islam kind of guy, you know.
Right.
And so and the crowd, which like seriously, he can deny the Holocaust, and everyone's like, "That's amazing. You are amazing."
Like
the numbers are so
We're
inflated.
just talking about this because my husband won't watch because of the audience.
Yeah, because they're there, and you can look this up. Christopher Hitchens had the greatest response when the audience hissed at him, and he just gave them the finger and he said, "Fuck you," and said, "Your audience is frivolous and they'll clap at anything." And he's the only person who ever said it. But that was the one bit that nobody clapped.
Right.
The first bit, he was like, because he was talking about the migrant crisis in Europe, and he's like, Mr. Hates religion, and he's, ecumenical about it. He hates Islam the same. And everyone was fucking quiet. They were just like, oh,
yes,
okay.
Right.
I don't want to talk, I don't want to clap about this. But is it the same? It's not the same way in comedy clubs, is it?
With what?
With kind of touchy.
You get like if you bring up certain subjects now, you can feel the tension rising. Like, say if you just start off by saying transgender right now, that's like a hot button. Are you going to be mean about it? They don't know what you're.
Seems to be on the same page.
I think you just
now
very split up. Usually.
But it's so common that you can I remember you did a bit about the Martin Luther King Day thing, and like the joke is that people are going to get sort of creeped out by just the mention of race in a club. So it's enough that you can actually have a punchline. You know that that's going to happen.
You can use it to your advantage, baiting a crowd, and then kind of going another way with it. I mean, it's like I did my special in Boston, and I did I was so devastated when I heard about it. My first thought was, me and my brother, we don't do anything together anymore. And I'm like, it's about me, but I baited him with it, and it's almost more fun because you're like, this could go either way because you feel it's like it keeps you present in the set.
It's a really good
it did okay. It didn't crush, but then I kind of riffed about it. I told a fart joke. The fart joke crushed, and I was like, you're not above anything I say.
Yes.
You're not above anything I say. You laughed at a fucking fart joke. So then I went back and even way more offensive jokes, and I did a miscarriage joke. I did everything was way more offensive. But I used it to break into it.
What won't you touch? What will you not touch?
Nothing. I'll touch anything.
I think everything's fair game.
Everything's
but the
fair.
problem
Do you mean that though?
No, I really do mean it.
If the joke's good enough,
And the truth of it is
the
that
joke's good enough.
Well, here,
any topic you can do any topic.
You're not go on stage and. Like, I don't want to I'm not sitting around being like, I hope I can think of an abortion joke today. Do you know what I mean? But if something comes to me that I think is funny.
I'm not a comic, but I do that a lot. Actually, I think of shit, I hope there's an abortion joke percolating in my head. I just tell people on the subway, and they're like, thank you.
I just thought of a new abortion joke, and I'm psyched to try it.
But the problem a little bit with the audience now is that they want you to be perfect. They want you to bat 1,000 on every joke, and it's like, as a comic, you're almost always just working it out until you get it to TV, and then you go work on the next shit until you get TV. So it's like, really, unless they're at that TV taping, they're probably not going to see a fully formed set. There's going to be mistakes in there, and it's like, it's hard. It's like you would just, if you weren't allowed to make mistakes in abortion jokes and stuff that's offensive, and then you're just going to, a lot of comics are just going to end up talking about food or.
Yeah, well, but you're not allowed to make mistakes because there's this excavation team that once you get famous go through all your old jokes, and that's what happened to Amy Schumer.
Right.
And I was waiting for this. She was this political hero, and I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it was the Mexican joke, Latino joke, and it was funny. It was and then everyone's just digging through because
you also
get
change
a lot
so
of
much
hits.
as a comic, when you start.
Exactly.
So
I think she should have said
what Trevor Noah said.
If she went back in history and if she could be I'm part Mexican, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be oh, my mom is transgender. My dad is fat.
I'm a woman. I can say that. I identify as a woman now.
You're a seagull and a lion.
Yes.
Can I put you on the spot and make you answer a question about a fellow comic?
Yes.
What did you think of her apology? She apologized for it.
I think she had to.
First she didn't. First she defended
First she didn't, and then she did.
First she defended herself.
Is that an agent?
Well, here's
here's
how I feel about apologies.
I've evolved as a comedian.
She got $25,000 for the apology.
Euro. If the audience wants an insincere apology so badly, then fucking give it to them. I don't care. I don't think it's worth ruining your career over. Yeah. And I think the audience has to know it's insincere. And I don't know why they are fine with it.
I hate it.
If I come off stage and somebody looks at me and is like, you know, you said that thing about organ transplants, and if my dad didn't have an organ transplant, he would have died. And I'll just go, oh, sorry. Like, I want to get out of the conversation. I don't feel like having this thing.
I think you should, before you
blows cigarette smoke in the face.
You should say, go fuck yourself and walk away. The best thing ever is in the Joan Rivers documentary when she's heckled in, like, Wisconsin. And somebody says, like, my cousin's in a wheelchair.
I hate that guy.
And she just unloads.
I love it.
And
it's like somebody who is an amazing comic and a trailblazer, and it's also somebody who's really old and doesn't give a shit.
Yes.
And it's like that's what she does, and if she doesn't do that, she has no career. But it's like Rickles, you know.
Watching Joan Rivers, that guy sat through 87 other offensive jokes until it got to the
one about him.
Once it gets personal, it's everyone in their agenda now. Yeah. But there was a point I was going to make. I totally forgot. But
that's offensive to me.
I'm offended. Well, no, here's the, I mean,
you're a woman now. You've got to step it up.
And a seagull. But like, if you're sorry, say you're sorry. But yeah, I'm with you. The forced apology is like, I saw Artie Lang, I guess he got in that trouble, with the ESPN thing when he was tweeting the version. I saw him perform that night, and he said on stage, he kept making jokes about it, and then finally just said, I'm really sorry. And it was like, it felt very sincere, and I was like, that's great. If you feel like you should apologize, but it's that forced apology that feels so artificial.
But they accept that. Bonnie just made a good point. Like, the public just accepts
But do they? But the reason they do is because they actually don't give a shit. Is the idea that they care comes from publicists. Nobody cares. So if Amy Schumer didn't apologize, it wouldn't affect her career at all.
You don't think so?
No. People would still write about it because, you know.
Oh, so you think she shouldn't have apologized?
No way. Who cares? The thing about these complaints is they usually don't actually come from anyone. They come from some person with a perch at, you know, where I write, the Daily Beast, or any place. Because that's what we write about these days. Because there's, you know, 24-hour news cycle. You have to say, oh, I'm going to write a piece about how, you know, Jurassic Park is sexist or something. Because that's what he goes out and does journalism anymore.
It's like
that's
that
easy
Star
stuff
Wars
to do.
thing. Like, where they're mad about the black guy.
It was fake.
It was like two tweets.
Two guys.
Well,
and it's
that's
like, we
news?
love that. No, it's not, but we love that stuff. We love the outrage we stuff. It's like piranhas in the water of like, because we have a second day story where we can talk. And when you peel it all back, like the Schumer thing, nobody cared.
It's not news because it's still going to be the highest grossing movie ever.
Yes, it's going to be the highest. Yeah,
and the people are like, white people are going to. Yeah. We're all going to see it.
Racists are going to love it. It's going to be the biggest movie.
It's going to be that good.
Well, I think, like, you know, everybody's tired of it. Why does it keep happening? Like that woman on, I don't know what network, CNBC maybe or something. MSNBC, network, is that a real network?
That's also one. Yeah.
Where she said, like, you can't say hard work.
Oh, yeah, Melissa Harris Perry.
Yeah, Melissa
Harris Perry. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
That's it. And she said you can't say hard work because it's like evokes slavery or something.
It doesn't actually. Just for the record, I just want to clarify that it doesn't.
Yeah. But it's like when she's saying that, she has to know that doesn't she know, like, oh, people are just exhausted by this. This is ridiculous now.
No, because she lives in a bubble. She lives at MSNBC, and university professor, and these aren't real worlds. These are make believe worlds.
Well, people are exhausted, I think, because of all their ancestors' hard work. And
yes.
All right.
Wait a second.
That was Sam.
Nick from San Diego.
Make sure that.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
You tell us.
This topic is on like every podcast I listen to, every radio show.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry.
No, in a good way. But I don't know how you said.
See, it's so easy to apologize. Did I offend you? I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying how come with all you have such a strong stance on it, but then when it came to Amy, it's like, well, if she's gonna apologize, like you're not gonna ruin your career. But if all you guys that are great don't apologize, then they're gonna be left with garbage. And
that's Michael.
It's the I am Spartacus argument.
I guess
at the end of Spartacus, everyone's Spartacus, right?
I know, but
except for people like you.
I tried to do that once in third grade, and no one else would stand up. But I just feel like, I don't know.
So then how valid is your argument if that's not how you're going to?
Because Amy has a career, dude.
Well, there's no argument except that the people who are easily offended are the devil. And if the devil says apologize, I would go, okay, sorry.
That was a stunning defense. Really, just convincing. It was like 12 Angry Men. That last scene. It was just really poetic.
I don't know. I guess I'm a person who just looks for the easiest way out. At the end of the day, I want to just keep doing stand up and keep doing my fucking stupid offensive jokes. And then when the people who like it, I hope they like it. And the people that are mad, I'll just be like, sorry, and then I'll go and do another show.
Yeah, but what if your next movie becomes huge? Which, what if you pretend, but it does. And then people start going through your old stuff. Are you going to apologize when they come to you and say,
well, there's no way
you made a rape
at that point. Yeah. I mean, you know what? Maybe you're right. I wouldn't apologize because I feel like that there would be no way to apologize. It'd be like, I had a concussion back then.
Yeah, Amy Schumer had one Hispanic joke. You kind of...
Yeah, I've got
it's like the Turner Diaries.
Yes.
You really...
It's awful.
You got a lot.
Your whole act on it.
It's awful.
Really, Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, there's no way I can
just
get out of
realized
it.
You're just kind of a racist, aren't you?
Not so much anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, you've evolved.
No, I mean, I've had sex with black men. All right, thanks, Nick. Thank you, Nick. Could that be your, the apology? Would that work if people were like, hey, you're racist? And I was like, no, I had sex. You made fun of fat people. And I'm like, look.
I've also had sex with fat people.
It was on the anniversary. It was on the anniversary of 9/11.
You making fun of transgender.
Crazy shit at that point. But, yes, you made pedophile jokes. It's like, I'm a pedophile. Yeah. I mean, could you get out of it that way?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. It's kind of like, I have a lot of black friends sort of thing. It's that sort of art,
I have I would say 3 maybe now. A lot of people still just have 1.
Yeah.
I've moved into modern times.
Wait, so you have 3?
Maybe 3, 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
who's that?
I don't know their names, but
He used to be Patrice. Now he's gone, so that's
I still
3.
think of him as a very dear friend.
He's a very dear departed friend.
One of them is Keith more, but
I see Keith. I think we've jumped from acquaintance to somewhere in between friend, and I feel good about it.
Oh, he's a tough nut to crack.
Yeah,
he'll laugh and
we're
he'll
not
joke,
friends.
but to be friends.
Yeah, we're not friends. I don't know. I was just trying to get involved.
Yeah, I have. You might have done Red Eye with. He's on a lot.
I think I did. Yeah,
and he's very right wing and refuses to identify as black. So if you say to him,
yes, I think I said something about him being black, and he was like, no.
He's like, no. It's like you at the. It's like I'm a lady seagull. It's the same thing. He's like, I'm not black, and he's like, no, it's a social construct. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you sort of.
How many minutes?
Yeah. Well, you're really counting it down, aren't you?
3 minutes. No, because he says it in my ear. He uses such a sexy voice when he's telling me how many minutes I have to go.
That's the black guy Bonnie's been with.
You know him?
Yeah. He's a dear friend.
Yeah.
Lewis.
This is, I feel like, a subject.
Hey, back up.
Maybe we should bail on this
walk
one.
away from this one.
Marina,
I'm friends with Marina.
I think we can all count Marina.
That's a bad sign when you get excited. You're like, I know her.
Marina. We talk on the phone a lot. There's a guy named Nick. Sometimes we text.
Damian Lemon. Love Damian.
Yes. I've spoken to him. I know, listen, here's the truth. I am friends with people who know black people. And I feel like that's enough.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that?
It's a degree of separation.
Her husband is accepted in the black community.
Yeah.
So by marriage, by default, Bonnie's in that category. You're good, Bonnie.
He went to an all-black high school. And when people say that, you always think, right.
Yeah.
Sure you did, 6 black people in your school.
Yeah.
But then I went to his high school reunion, and it really was all pimps. It was crazy. It was fucking crazy. There's a lot of red suits.
Not as many of them as you thought.
It makes you understand Rich a little more, because he's like this little Jew.
Yeah. Is Rich Jewish?
Yeah, he identifies as Italian.
It's a good. In show business, that's a really good thing to do.
It's really just a Jew with tattoos.
He's never gonna. Thank you, Ben, for coming in.
Thanks, I was here.
You were here, but not great. You weren't great.
Right. Actually, I was tired ahead of time.
I'm going to give you 2.5 stars.
Thanks, Boo.
And thank you, Sam Morrell.
Thank you. Great to be
for coming
here.
in. You really picked it up in the second half.
Yeah, I was feeling rough about the first half.
I think you made a new friend.
Wow.
I think you made a new friend in Michael and in Ben.
I'm not looking for any more white friends, okay?
yeah.
Trying to.
He's met his quota.
Michael, you were a delight. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I
and hopefully
appreciate
you can come back again.
I would love to.
When Rich is here. And Kate Connor, who you could hear off mic.
Wheezing off my
That's our producer. She's my producer wherever I go. She just produces my life for me. Thank you, Kate. And I'm going to be at the Creek in the Cave, November.
You didn't give a shout out to Lewis, our new black friend, our producer.
Lewis.
we're all counting Lewis as our new black friend.
Very hard
I do
for
black
the record.
friends at
He's
the
enjoying
end.
it.
That's the last thing, always.
No, November 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. I don't know if that's to Saturday or 15th. Anyway.
They'll put it together.
Wednesday through Saturday, I'm at the Creek in the Cave. November, Wednesday through Saturday. It's for the New York Comedy Festival. It's $5 to get in. I'll do an hour and I will make you laugh for at least half of that. So please come to that.
Can I plug one too?
You can plug whatever you want.
I'm doing a festival show too, you reminded me. November 10th, Village Underground, 10 p.m., an evening with Sam Morril and Beth Stelling. Get tickets. It's going to sell out, I think. I feel good about it. And my album class too, iTunes.
Anything else?
Not now, Bonnie. I mean, Jesus.
And you can you get your Comedy Central special on demand?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
That sounded condescending, but it was still a plug.
This Friday, I'm in the headline of the Wasted Talent Show in Newport, Rhode Island, 8 o'clock.
And Michael?
I got a piece coming out in the Daily Beast. It's not of interest to anyone.
What is it called?
The piece?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to tell you, but it's about junk history.
Oh.
Yeah. About Ben Carson and Bibi Netanyahu using bad history.
Ben Carson's just
Yeah.
flying up in the polls.
Flying up.
You know what it is?
It's
because
The Voice. It's
I
whispering.
think it's
Yeah.
people think he can do anything because he's
No, he's
stayed
like the-
married to that woman.
I think it's
for so
that
long.
story about being in the Popeyes where the guy put a gun to him and he said, I believe that's the man you want. Why would he tell that story? You're a coward in that story.
I know.
The Popeyes in Baltimore. I just don't believe the heart surgeon is at the Popeyes in Baltimore. Just me.
I've never seen a white person in a Popeyes. Just FYI. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. See you next week, everybody. Back with Rich Voss.